Hi, are you here for your first music lesson? Good, yeah, you're in the right place. So, what made you want to start with music? Awesome. Yeah, well, you're in the right place, and I'm so excited to get started with you. So, we're going to start with the violin because that's one of the instruments that you listed on the interest form that you wanted to learn about. Awesome. One of my favorites, and actually my specialty. So, today I will be just talking to you about the instrument because I know you don't yet have a violin, which is totally fine. We'll be going over the parts of the violin and the bow. It's okay if you don't know what that is yet. And a little bit about the way that you play it. So pay attention. I know it's going to be a lot of information. It's okay if you don't get it all the first time. If there's something you'd like me to repeat, please don't hesitate to ask. All right. Are you ready? Good. Okay, so this is a violin. Not a viola, not a cello, not a bass. This is a violin. It's spelled V-I-O-L-I-N. Violin. So this is a violin. No, it's not. No, not a flute. Not a violin. It's a violin. It's a violin. It's a violin. Just a violin. So this violin is made of wood. It's not made of concrete. It's not made of paper. It's made of wood. Made of wood. Violin comes in two parts. So there's this part. The violin and the bow. So it's in two parts, not one, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, not nine, not 10. Two parts, one and two. Two parts. If you find yourself with more than two parts, you have too many parts. You only need two. You need the violin. No. This isn't a trumpet. This is a violin. And you need this. You need a bow. No. It's not called an arrow. It's called a bow. I know it looks different than the bow and arrow that you might be used to, but no. So we'll start with the smaller of the two, the easier one. So this is a bow. On this bow, you have a brown part and a white part here. So you only touch the brown part. Only touch the brown part. Only the brown part, not the white part. You don't touch the white part. Don't touch the white part. Only the brown part. The brown part only. You can touch it as much as you like. You can touch it as little as you like. Just don't touch the white part. So where do your fingers go? Yeah, on the brown part only. Yes, okay. Your bow, the brown part, is made of wood. Wood. Or plastic. Sometimes this bow is wood, just like the violin. You have one end called the tip, the tippy top. The tip, this is the tip, and on the other side, you have to go down to the other side and look at the other side to find this part in a rectangle. It's not a square, it's not a triangle, it's not a circle. It's a rectangle. This is called the frog, like the animal that goes ribbit. Oh, I have no idea why it's called the frog, but someone got creative. And on this frog, you'll find a dot. That is not a rectangle. This is not a rectangle. It's on a rectangle, but it is not a rectangle. This is a circle. It's a white circle. a white circle on a black rectangle. I know, it's confusing. There's so many shapes on this one. I know. Just try your best to keep up. It's okay. So you have a white circle on a brown rectangle, and that whole thing is called the frog. It's not called the sheep. It's not called the cow. It's not called the lizard. It's called the frog. Okay. So you hold the bow. Now this is where it gets complicated. So please try to stay with me, okay? You hold the bow with your right hand. So show me your right hand. Okay, no, that's your left hand. So now you have two hands, right? Yeah, two hands. You have one hand, two hands, just like me. Yeah? Let me see. Yep, two hands, just like me. So you have two hands. And on that hand, you have two thumbs. Show me your thumbs. Yeah. Show me your thumbs one more time. Okay, yeah, okay. So your thumbs are yeah. Okay, good. And then your pointer fingers. No, not this one. Not this one. It's the one next to your thumb. Not the one at the end of your hand. It's the one next to your thumb. Good. Now put them up. Good. Okay. Now look at your hands. Study your fingers. Study them. Study them. Study the shape. The one that looks like an L to you on your side is your left hand. So take that left hand and take it away. And now you're left with your right hand, not your left hand, but your right hand. You need your right hand to hold the bow. You need your right hand, not your left. Not your left hand, not your left. You need your right hand. Now that you have your right hand, I'm going to pick up the bow and know this is the hand that holds the bow. Your hand holds it at the frog. And we're not going to get into how to build the bow hold just yet, but that'll be for our next time. So remember, you only touch with your right hand, and you do not touch this part, because this part at the frog, it starts at the frog and ends all the way up at the tip. All the way up at the tip, this white part, or this tan part, is hair. It's hair. Not like this hair, though. No. This is horse hair, like a horse, like running in a field, pulling the carriage horse. They took it and they made it special so that it makes sounds and you can play music with it. So this is hair, and you shouldn't touch the hair. Don't touch the hair. Don't touch the hair. Only the wood. Only the wood. Only the wood. Not the hair. Not the hair. If you touch the hair, it won't work. It won't work. That's not how you hold it. You want to hold it from the brown part, not the white, because if you hold it from the white, you can't play the violin. And you hold it at the frog, not the tip. This is the tip. This is the frog. Your right hand only. Your left hand is busy doing other things. So that is your bow, or it will be your bow when and if you get a violin. Are you ready to look at the violin itself? I thought so. You're doing pretty well. I know that it's pretty complicated, but you're doing well. So I'm going to gently place the bow down and gently pick my violin up. So our violin is back. A few words of advice about how to handle the violin. The violin is very delicate because it's made of wood, and inside the wood there is not more wood. It is hollow. You can hear it. There's nothing inside. Nothing inside. It's open. It's air. Air inside the violin. So there's air inside here. It means that if you drop this, it can be shattered. So you need to hold it with at least one hand. So you have two hands. At least one needs to be holding the violin, because if you don't hold it with no hands, it'll fall to the ground and it'll break. You don't want it to break. So you hold it with one or two hands. One or two hands. One or two hands at all times until you put it in its case. We're not going to get into the case today. That's a whole other story. So this is our violin that's been removed from its case, and I'm holding it with at least one hand at all times, just like you should. So this is our violin. We're going to start from the top. This is the top. This is the top of the violin. The top of the violin is at the top. This is the top. It's the one that's pointing towards the ceiling right now. This one. It's the highest point at the top. And work our way down to the bottom. So this is the bottom because it's closest to the floor, and it's below the top. There's a lot in between, so we're going to try and get through it as best we can. So stay with me. You're doing great. All right. So at the top, we have a scroll. You can look at it from the side. You can look at it from straight on. You can look at it from the other side. You can look at it from the back. So there's 4 different ways you can look at the violin. So this way, this way, this way, this way. And you look at things with your eyes. So your eyes need to be open. Please open your eyes. You can't see it if you don't open your eyes. Very good. Okay, so this is a scroll. This scroll looks like this. It has wood and it has 2 lines. Go down it. 2 indents. 1, 2. So there's 2 indents. 2. And a swirl that goes around 1, 2, 3 times. This is the scroll. It's not a scroll like a paper, not a scroll like a parchment, not a scroll that you would deliver to a faraway kingdom. No, no, no. This is a scroll on a violin. A scroll on a violin is at the top. So this is the top of the violin, and the scroll is at the top. So below the scroll, right below the scroll, so not far below the scroll, not at the bottom, but still towards the top, we have pegs. So these black, and the pegs are black. These are black pegs. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 2 on the left, or on your right, my left, and 2 on my right and your left. Very good. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 pegs. And the pegs are black. They're not brown. They're not red. They're black. The pegs are also wood, just like the scroll, just like the violin, just like the bow. Lots of wood. No, 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 no. Not plastic. They're not plastic. They're not metal. No, no, no. And then below the pegs, we have a neck. Not a neck like this. Not a neck like ours. See, you have a neck and I have a neck because we have a head attached to our neck. But on the violin, we have a neck. And above it, attached to it, is a scroll. So the scroll is attached to the neck, which is attached to the body. So the scroll is like the violin's head, just like your head is attached to your neck, which is attached to your body. Your head is attached to your neck and attached to your body, right? Yeah. So we have our neck. And the neck has 2 colors and 2 sides. It has the back, which has lined wood that's been polished and cleaned to make it flat and smooth. And the other side, which is black. And the black piece is longer. See, the black piece is longer than the tan piece on the back. The black piece is longer. The front part is longer. That's because it turns into the fingerboard, the fingerboard, the fingerboard, the fingerboard. And can you guess what goes on the fingerboard? It's okay. It's okay. No, 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 no. It's not your toes. It's not. No, 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 no. No, no, no. So on the fingerboard, your fingers go on the fingerboard when you're playing the violin. Your fingers. And specifically, it is these 4 fingers. These 4 fingers. Not these 4 fingers. Not these 4 fingers. But these 4 fingers. And they're on your left hand, not your right hand. Your right hand holds the bow. Your left hand and these 4 fingers, not these 4 fingers on the right hand. It has to be this hand, your left hand. It has to be your left hand. And then your fingers have to go somewhere very specific, not just on the black part, because you could put your fingers here, right? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Your fingers go on top of the strings. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 strings. 4 strings. We'll talk about those more in a minute, but your fingers go on top of the strings. They don't go underneath the strings. They don't go on the side of the strings. They go on top of the strings. They go down on top, and you push down, not up, not sideways, not across. You go down. You put your finger on 1 string at a time, 1 string at a time. So 1 finger on 1 string at 1 time. 1 finger on 1 string at 1 time. 1 finger on 1 string at 1 time. Very good, very good, very good. And on these strings, we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the G string. We have the D string, the A string, and the E string. That's the G string, the D string, the A string, and the E string. And those strings have to be tuned that way. If they're not tuned that way, it's not a violin. If they're not tuned that way, you don't have a violin. You have something else. If you have differently tuned strings, you might have a viola, you might have a cello, you might have a bass. If it doesn't have any strings, it's not a violin. If you find an instrument that you have to blow into with your mouth, it is not a violin. If you find something that has keys on it that you have to press with your hands like this, it's not a violin. If you have to use sticks to play it, like drumsticks, it is not a violin. If it doesn't have any strings on it at all, you might have a broken violin. So if you don't have any strings, make sure you take care of that. the place. See. Yes. So that is a bridge. Bridge, just like before. Yes. Very good. Alright, and next to the bridge, we have two things next to the bridge, and they are the same, but one is opposite of the other. We have one apple and the other apple. Now they look the same, but they look different, right? They've been reflected across the bridge. The bridge makes it different. If they look the same, your violin might be defective. You want them to look almost the same curves, but not quite. And inside that, we remember that it's hollow. It's hollow inside. You can hear hollow inside. If it's not hollow inside, you might not have a violin. You might have a rock. If it's not hollow inside, you might have a rock. You might have a tree. You might have a log, not a violin. You need it to be hollow inside for it to make sound, and you want to make sound when you play violin. You want to make sound when you play violin. So, next we have this. This is called an end piece. And on this we have 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. And I know what you're saying, that's a lot. There's a lot of numbers in violin. I know. But we only have 1, 2, 3 holes that don't have something in it. One has something in it and it looks like a mushroom, but it's not a mushroom. Please don't eat it. It's not a mushroom. Please don't eat it. It's not. It's not a candy either. So this is a peg. But it's not like these pegs. No. These are wooden pegs. And they live at the top by the scroll. At the bottom here, under the bridge, below the bridge, towards the bottom of the instrument, we have a fine tuner. So these are used to tune the strings, just like the pegs up here, just like the pegs up by the scroll. But they do it smaller. See, they are smaller. So please do not eat them. They are not for eating. They are for tuning. Very good. You might have 1. You might have 2. You might have 3. You might have 4. Fine tuners at the bottom. I only have 1. You, on the other hand, might end up with 3. You might have 4. You might have 2. You might have 1. You might have none. Any number of fine tuners is a good number as long as you didn't lose them. We don't want to lose the violin pieces. If the pieces start coming off, that's not good. So here we go. And on our strings here we have something called a mute, but that is way too hard for right now. We're just going through all of the parts, and this mute is for something different. So now below the tailpiece we have this, also made of wood, being held in place by this screw. This screw is inside the violin. It's not outside the violin. It's not taped to the violin. It is inside the violin. It goes through the wood, not next to the wood, not on top of the wood, through the wood, and holds everything in place. If this comes out, don't take it out. This is not to come out. Don't pull it out. It will break the violin. And everything will fall off. You don't want that. And around it, I have put tape onto these metal bars, and the metal bars are part of the chin rest. Do you think you know what goes on the chin rest? No, it's not your forehead. No. No, sweetheart, that's not your forehead. It goes your chin, your jaw goes on the chin rest. And it goes on your left side. So your left side goes on the chin rest. Your left side, not your right side. Your left side, just like your left hand. I know. We'll go over this in the second lesson as well. I know. It's okay. No. Not your right side, your left side, your left chin.